Well, it's very global, so that's really the advantage of this master. Is that you touch a bit about all the activities in a real company. So we had classes about, of course, marketing, communication, but we also had, for example, law, finance, accountability, and we had a special course only on family business. So that was very important because, for example, now I'm working in Ferrero, which is a family business. So it's very useful and always in the food and beverage management industry. So it's focused, but at the same time, very general.
Welcome, Manon. Thanks for being here and for sharing your story with us. And today we're going to talk about your path and your experience in the master in International Food and Beverage Management at ESCP Business School. So welcome and thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
We have to say also that you're working for Ferrero. It's more than 1 year, if I'm not wrong, you're working for Ferrero?
Yes, 1 year as a junior manager and 6 months internship before as an assistant junior manager.
Yeah, so now you're a junior product manager, and then you're gonna explain me a bit the daily routine of your work and in general your experience at Ferrero, and also the connection between your master and your experience at Ferrero, which has been the objective in choosing this master in international food and beverage management. Why you choose it? You were already thinking about like the future job you would have liked to do?
Yes, exactly. I always loved Italy because when I was little, I lived in Italy. And actually, this master is half in Italy and half in France. And so, since I'm French, just for the countries, it was perfect because I had the possibility to come back to Italy and also to stay in France. Also, I have always been fond of food. I'm a real foodie, so I love eating, but not just also to study everything that comes before. So how to all the big companies in the food industry work. And I knew that in this master there's a lot of company visits too. So I also thought it would be a very good opportunity to enter in concrete in the food and beverage industry.
And concerning the approach of the lessons, I know that it's a very hands-on approach with interactive lectures, with teamwork, oral presentations, and role play, business games. So could you explain me a bit, which is the structure of the master when it comes to like the specific topics that you study, and then also talking about the methodology that you are exposed to when it comes to like learning?
Okay, yes. So I would say that generally the master is divided in two parts. There's really the practical part that is really half of the master, that is concretely you go into business visits. So you go directly in companies all around Italy and France, and you meet people who or started a business or are now at top positions of big companies, always in the food and beverage industries. So this is really something I personally think very great, because it's not just you're here at school, I would say, listening to a lecture and just taking notes. It's really you go there, you talk to people, you do networking also, that is really important. So that's the first part, so with all the company visits. And then you have also the theoretical part, I would say, with in classrooms, but with a lot of guests. So we have a lot of people from top positions coming and sharing their experience with us, answering all our questions and all this stuff. And also a lot of, as you were saying, business games, because these lecturers don't just come and talk, they also always have a lot of interactive activities. So sometimes it's business games, sometimes it's presentations about a topic, and a lot of teamwork. So the master is really asked on interactivity between students, but not only, also between students and people already in their professional lives. So we had a lot of presentations, and that's funny because at the beginning we were all shy about presenting and everything, and at the end of the master we were all super easy to talk to new people we didn't know, to talk about topics we didn't know, and we had, I think, very good presentation skills, at least better than when we arrived.
Nice. Okay, Manon, could you give me an overview when it comes to the specific topics that you learned during the master? So I know that you strengthen your general management knowledge in marketing, finance, sales, HR, and different strategy areas. Could you give me this overview? And so, which are the subjects that you learned during the master?
Well, it's very global, so that's really the advantage of this master, is that it's you touch a bit about all the activities in a real company. So we had classes about, of course, marketing, communication, but we also had, for example, law, finance, accountability, and also all about the historical, the story of companies. Like we had, for example, I have one example here in mind, that is we had a special course only on family business. So that was very important because, for example, now I'm working in Ferrero, which is a family business. So it's very useful, and always in the food and beverage management industry. So it's focused, but at the same time very general, because you can have a lot of topics that are the real topics that you have in an industry. So if you enter the master, you're not going to just have the possibility to work in marketing, but if you want, you can also still work in finance or in other sectors, in sales, of course, and but still in the food and beverage industry. So it's a very global, and it gives you a very great overview of the real life, I would say.
What about the duration of the master? It's maybe you already told me, but it's 15 months. Is that correct?
Exactly. So it's more or less, I think 7 months in Italy, so a bit more than half. Then you have 4 or 5 months in France, and then you have a 6 months internship. But there's also the possibility, I didn't do it personally, but you have also the possibility to do the last semester in Berlin, to have a specialization, a specialization in finance, I think, but I'm not sure about this. But otherwise, if you don't do you do my path, it's 15 months.
Okay, so an important part of the master is then the internship period, and we are going to talk about it later. I know the program is open to everyone that who is passionate about the food and beverage industry. Which are the requirements to be admitted in the master, and in general, how is the selection process?
Well, actually, I was surprised when I arrived the first day, because it's really people from any background, any nationalities. Just to say, like, for example, in my promo, we were, I think, at least 10 different nationalities. So it's also great because you have people from all around the world, and you can exchange it, because of course we have different experience. But also from the point of view of the studies, when I arrived, I thought we were all going to have like a business background, but actually I had people with me that did law before, just law, and they came here to specialize. There are people who also had started their startup, and so they had their own company, and then they came to the master. So I wouldn't even speak about like a specific requisite. I think it's really, the only one is to be passionate about food, especially, and to be curious, always about the same industry. But otherwise, people mainly from economic backgrounds, but no, not only. It's not, if you didn't do it, you can still get in, I would say.
Manon, are there also some like activities which are strictly related to, I don't know, visiting kitchens or visiting restaurants, or I don't know, like activities related to food and beverage in the practical sense?
Of course. So apart from all the company visits that I mentioned before, we also have 1 week in where you go to the ALMA. I don't know if you know, it's ALMA cooking school. So it's a real cooking school with people who come here to be chefs, and we spend 1 week there. and we were cooking with them, with the chefs. They gave us all their tips, and they really treated us as if we were like some people who wanted to become chef. So it was really a great experience, because it was in a beautiful place, because the ALMA school is really wonderful, with people very open-minded, and who helped us a lot. And it was also very useful, because we learned stuff that I think we would have never learned in another place than ALMA, the ALMA school.
Okay, you told me the duration, okay, and the cities, which are Paris and Turin. What about the strong partnerships with leading companies in the food and beverage industry? Could you tell me something about it? And in general, which are the companies and which are the opportunities also for the internship period that you have with this master?
Yes, of course. So we visited a lot of big companies. For example, we went to Bologna. We saw Barilla, which is the big pasta group. We also went to visit the Parmigiano Reggiano industry, where we saw how people made the Parmigiano. We saw other companies. We had some speakers from Italy, the food supplier. Also, we had Lavazza. We went to Lavazza, and we had speakers from Lavazza. We really also a lot of wineries, because of course the first part of the master is in Turin, so it's near to the Langhe, where you have a lot of wineries, very famous and very good and tasty. So we spent some days also in the Langhe to visit some special wineries, specialized also in cheese. But the thing is that we visited a lot of big companies, but also small but very renowned, very known. But in all the sectors, so wine, pasta, cheese. We also some meat. So we went to Florence, and we had the Fiorentina. So I think it's really great for that, because it's not really focused on one industry or one type of company, but it's really global. And we had been in contact with famous groups from all the industry.
Okay, and when it comes to the internship period, so it's a very important period where you like experience real work in a company. So is there a mandatory period, and in general, how many months you have to do, in which locations, and in general, how does ESCP Business School help you getting in contact with companies and finding your internship?
So actually, the internship is generally 6 months. Then if you want, like, if you only have one from 5 months, I think it's okay. But generally, I see me and also all my previous colleagues from the master, everyone did more or less a 6-month internship. So that is the duration. Then to find it, so we were very well prepared by the school, because as I was saying before, all the company visits and all the speakers that we have in class, they always tell us go on LinkedIn, connect with them, because one day maybe when you will be searching for an internship, you can send them an email. And also, especially, you have a career fair. So it's 3 days in which many big companies come directly in the school, and you can go there and discuss with them and give them your resume. And then usually if they come, it's because they are looking for interns, and you have the possibility to really get in contact directly with them. And usually, thanks to this career fair and the speakers that come before, you find it quite easily. Passing from the master to the life to the real life in a company was pretty easy, because as I was saying before, we are well prepared. We're not in the middle of something new. But yeah, it was really it was pretty easy. But of course, I regret the master. If I could go back, I would.
Could you tell me something about your work experience at Ferrero? What are you doing, and actually, what did you do in your two positions? So, what you were doing previously and what you're doing now? And in general, could you tell me something also about the company and the values and the environment that you found?
Yes, of course. So Ferrero is actually like a company I was always dreaming to work at, because I know directly people who work there, and I only heard some good things about this company. So even when I came to the master, I wanted to enter Ferrero, and I had the chance to first enter it through Belgium. So I was the assistant product manager there, and I worked in marketing. So that means that I was working, for example, on the advertisement that we had on TV, also on the packs, so developing the packaging of the products. We had also a lot of communication to do with through agencies on media. And then I had a bit the continuation in my current position, that is junior product manager, always for the brand Kinder. And this time I'm working at I would say it's called the Presidenza, which is the headquarter that gives then instructions to all the to all the countries around. And here I'm still working a lot on packagings, because with Kinder we work a lot with the licenses. So it's a lot of communication between all the sectors, also the digital team, because we work a lot on everything that's online, the packaging, and then there's also the analytic part, so to analyze all the results.
And looking back, how much this master helped you in your current work, in your current position? Like many of the things that you learned in the master are like helping you right now?
Of course, yes, I definitely see it. Some things other than others, because of course, for example, I'm working in marketing, so. But even there actually, because for example, so we had some, as I was saying before, some courses in law, and I learned a lot of stuff that now I'm not losing time and my current position trying to understand all the legal procedures. I already know it because I already studied it during the master. Same thing for marketing, because in our classes of marketing, we studied a lot of examples of companies, what are they currently doing on the market, and so it also gives me inspiration and ideas to what to do now for my current position. So
Also,
a lot, yeah.
okay, nice. Also looking at some data I found on the ESCP website, on the page of the master, some data about the food industry, which is a pillar of the European economy, and with 4.2 million employees throughout the European Union, and with more than 1,000 billion in turnover. So these are impressive data, I think. And could you give me an overview of what your colleagues, for example, are doing after this master, and in general, which are the other options that that you have, like when finishing this master, like other jobs options?
Of course, yes. Well, it depends to everyone, to each one of us, but you have many options. You can go from my path, so go into a big company and enter it as junior, and then have the possibility to grow up, I would say. Then some people also started their own business. So if, for example, you always had the dream to, I don't know, open a restaurant or something linked to the food and beverage industry, this is also the perfect master, because you learn a lot about everything to start it, the basis of the industry. So after that, if you want, you can also start your own business. Then there's also a lot of people who went to work in their family business, because some people from the master had their family working in the industry, and so now they are prepared to take over. That's pretty much it. But yeah, you're pretty free to do whatever you want. But yeah.
Nice. And Manon, you have always lived in an international environment, and SAP further contributed to this. In your opinion, which are the advantages of having, let's say, a strong international outlook?
Oh, I think definitely open-mindedness, because working with people from different culture, you understand that some things that you personally from your culture seems obvious is not obvious for someone else. So being in contact with people from different nationalities, not for only European, but also from other continents, really helped to always think, oh, this seems logic to me, but is it to someone else? And definitely open-mindedness, I would say, yeah.
Nice. And Manon, last but not least, in your opinion, which are the must-have for a student to excel in this master?
I would say definitely. So as I was saying before, the passion, because I think being passionate is really if there's one thing to say is really that's to enter the master. Then you have to be also open-minded, because you will be with different nationality people working. Since there's a lot of teamwork, you have to be able to adapt to different way of workings. And communicate, not to be shy, because you have a lot of presentation, company, like some teamworks, and you will have to do a lot of presentation. So you don't have to be shy or scared to talk in front of many people. That's pretty it.
That's awesome, Manon. Okay, I guess we finished. It was nice because I saw that you are so happy with your choice, and you are like following the route that you wanted to follow in your life. So thanks a lot, and good luck for everything.
Thank you very much.